Hey, everybody, welcome back to another No Excuses with Chris G. I'm your host, Chris George, co founder and chairman of SubTub. No Excuses is a Stub to Studios series where we help young entrepreneurs start up businesses. Come onto the show, ask me any of their challenging questions, and I'm here to give them insight and help them grow and build their business. Today, I'm super excited. I've got Jennifer Kowal with Entry Envy on with us today. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Chris. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. So glad to have you on. So before we get started and get your questions out to me, tell us more about Entry Envy.
So this concept is basically custom wooden exterior home signs that have a planter's box on the front of each of the three styles that allow people to have a refilled decor kit sent to them each month. So your front porch and your entry will never be outdated again. Two styles are for outside the home, and then the other one is for apartments or nursing homes or dorm rooms. So it's meant to be inside. I came up with this concept after remodeling my own house a year ago, and the inside looked great, but the outside needed some work. And I went on a mission to kind of try and figure out how to update my house numbers. I loved the concept of doing a planter's box, but it's a lot of work to keep it updated every month. And I learned that very quickly. And so after a couple of months, I decided if I was going to do it for myself, I might as well do it for everybody else.
Yeah, I love it. I saw the website. I think those are really cool to have on the outside of the house. Before we get into the questions, what about the homes that are like on the East Coast, right, where there's like winter? What happens with
Yeah,
that?
so it's okay. So I
Yep,
think there's a couple of thoughts. Number one, the signs are completely exterior weatherproofed, right?
yep,
Nothing's going to last forever, but they're painted with the exterior paint, they're sealed with the exterior varnish, all of those things. I think the salt's going to be hard on them if you're on the coast, just like it always is, right? But you guys are kind of used to dealing with the East
yep.
Coast side. Um, but in terms of the insides, honestly, when I first launched this, I thought about offering a quarterly subscription that would just be seasonal. And I tried it. It doesn't work. It doesn't
Yeah,
last because the mouse steals your moss, the spider moves in, the storm blows half of your stuff away, the sun fades the
yep,
pink flower into, whatever. And so the nice thing about the monthly subscription is if any of that happens, you're getting a new one in a couple of
yeah,
weeks. It's not a
yeah.
big deal. So they're designed to be outside and they actually do pretty darn well.
So the customer signs up. Do they pay an initial fee that's more to start to get the first customized sign, and then they pay monthly to get the refill?
So they have to purchase their sign and they have to pick which of the three styles they want, ranging in price from 59 to 109. And those are very competitively priced and they're really kind of a loss leader for me because I want the subscription revenue, not necessarily the sign.
I like
And
it.
but it's not required. So once they sign up for their sign, they order their sign, it automatically takes them then to the page that says, what subscription do you want? Do you want it monthly? Or do you want to prepay for a year in advance? Or do you want to opt out of the subscription at this time? Then they get to the checkout. And then if they opt out of the subscription, they get into my marketing funnel through Klaviyo that will cross sell them hopefully into a subscription at a later point.
Good. So you just launched. So you had your first,
October
right?
1st.
So with the
Yeah.
first purchase, the subscription, they also get the stuff to fill the
Yep.
planter area, right?
I'm offering right now, everybody gets a starter kit so they
Yeah.
don't get their sign shipped
And then
empty.
when they renew for $30, or I think that was the cost, they get a
Hmm.
new
Yep.
like kit of dirt and
Kit.
like the flowers and all that, right?
A new moss, new stuff. Yes, a
Yep.
whole new kit.
Okay, good. Makes sense. So I guess my question was on the East Coast, like in the winter, like you don't plant plants in that during that time. So what would I get?
Everything is artificial. You're not getting anything real, Chris.
Oh,
Everything is artificial that's
wow. That's
going
good to
in there.
know.
Now, it's good fake crap. That's what I'll say, right?
Good.
It's the good stuff. It doesn't it doesn't it's a curated design. There are 3 to 5 that I do each month, so you're not likely to have the same one as your friend or as your neighbor. And they are customized based on where they're at. So like a couple of customers in Florida, they're not going to get the snow look for Christmas. They're going to have a different look that
Yep.
is still holiday, but doesn't look like it's completely out of place, right?
Yeah.
And so it's geographically location sensitive. Spring starts earlier in Texas than it does in Nebraska, for example. So that's taken into account. Um, I am very sensitive to all of the different holidays. So it's standard sending you all of the traditional
Mm.
American Christian holidays, if you will. But if somebody needs Hanukkah instead of
Yeah.
Christmas, or, doesn't recognize Halloween or whatever, we're tailoring all of that to it as
Yeah.
well.
Makes
So
sense.
nothing's going to die. It's going to look
Yeah.
great.
Good. So that makes sense. Good. I'll answer that question. All right, good. So tell me what can I help you most with to help you get this up off the ground and running?
So I feel like my first issue has been there are so many things to do with the marketing. You have all of the platforms, and every time you talk to somebody, they're like, well, are you doing this? Are you doing this? Right. So you've got the Facebook and Instagram, just social media requirement. You've got the ad component that can go with it. You've got the Pinterest, the TikTok, the SEO, the blogs, the vlogs. I mean, there's just so many different marketing channels, and you can't do everything well all at once, although I'm trying. And I wish that somebody had a magic 8 ball to say, if I were you, this is kind of what I would hone
Mhm.
in on. I am also trying to learn who exactly my demographic is. And I
Mhm.
think you can kind of weigh into that as to what that, I mean, I know that they're women, they are busy. I think they care about what their front porch looks like, but they may not have the creativity or the time to be able to update it. If they don't care, they're not going to buy one of these signs with a planter box. They're going to buy one that doesn't have that they
Mhm.
don't have to worry about. Um, the age range has stumped me a little bit. Is it 25 to 35? Is it 25 to 45? Is it 25 to 55 or 65? And then I think that the component of the indoor sign is completely different. It goes to both because I have got moms buying them for their college kids who live in apartments or dorms, and buying them for their parents who are in a nursing home.
Mhm.
And so
That's the indoor
I
sign, right?
am struggling. Yes, that's the indoor
Yeah.
sign. So I am struggling with not only all of the different marketing channels, but that messaging that I'm sending. And then they're buying it for themselves for their own front porch. So
Yeah.
it feels like this wide, vast field of opportunities that's overwhelming.
So look, there's a lot there. Here's what you need to think about is where is my target after we've identified who your target demographic is, where is their attention? And that's the marketing channel that we are going to target, right?
Okay.
My
Okay.
head initially goes into like Pinterest, right? Because Pinterest, people go there for home inspiration. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to put some marketing dollars behind Pinterest if I'm doing this. I'm also looking at what is the demographic of the individuals that are paying attention to Pinterest, right? Not, I was about to say arts and craft, but not arts and crafts. Arts and craft people maybe would fit into this, but think more home decor. People that are into their home, their
Hmm.
inspiration all comes on Pinterest. They may also follow somebody on YouTube that they like that does like things to change up your home or home improvements or like 5 ways to improve the inside of your apartment. Like, boom, buy one of these, right? So, given that that's where I would be trying to I'd be putting my marketing dollars towards that. And then also be looking at what's, instead of like worrying about right now in your case, because it sounds like you've got a wide range of a demographic. It could be a 19-year-old Gen Z that like is into like plants or having this decor in their home to mom buying it for their grandma and their kid, right? We got a wide range. So let's now, instead of worrying about their age, let's worry about their interests. Let's define our demographic based on what they like and their interests, right?
Okay.
So look at the characteristics of somebody that would want this in their home. Probably organized, like into being like, I don't know all the answers to this, like into gardening, into flowers, has an interest in plants. And that's who I'm targeting. And then I'm finding out where
Okay.
are those people's attentions being, where are those individuals paying attention? I would be willing to bet a large percentage of your demographic is on Pinterest.
I agree. And Etsy and
Oh yeah,
maybe House.
for sure, for sure.
Um, how do you feel about the influencer piece and the affiliates, if you will? But
Yeah.
first, the influencers, because a lot of those people are following them, but I've heard mixed reviews on whether or not that's a worthwhile endeavor.
So look, influencer marketing, if done right, can work really well, right? So I would try to find a YouTube influencer that does things to redecorate their homes, that'll actually
Okay.
take your product, put it on the wall, put the plant in there, go through the whole process, and talk about how much they like it. Because there's an experience with yours more than just a product, right? It's like putting it together and like having this sort of final thing. Now, on the flip side, your product could be like shown on a social account like Instagram because it is an impulse buy. You see it, you think this is so cool, I want to buy one, right? So you kind of hit both
Right.
spectrums. I like the idea of getting some YouTube influencers that'll talk about it,
Okay.
why this is so cool. And like, oh my God, guess what? Like they send you a new one every single month. Like an
Okay.
Instagram influencer can't do that really. Maybe with a story,
No.
but they're generally going to post
Okay.
a picture and like you're going to see it. And like they're not going to, even if there's a story, they're going to talk about it for 15 seconds, maybe carry over to 30 seconds, right? Versus like a YouTube influencer, when people are watching YouTubers, they're paying attention for longer. Like you
Okay.
go to watch somebody on YouTube to learn something, right? Like if you wanted to learn how to cut a piece of wood, like you'd go on YouTube,
Yep.
so
Okay. Okay.
that's how I'm thinking about that. Um, I think influencer marketing can work. You've got to test and try. I would be trying to find people on YouTube that'll talk about the product. You're new. This is a great new company I found. They send you these awesome things for your front entry, right? Like have them talk about it. Let them
Yeah.
sell it for you.
Okay. I like that. And there's a lot of different avenues that could go. One of the other marketing tactics that I would like to pursue after the first of the year. So because it's Q4, and I'm just launching, I'm really focusing on the gift giving piece, which has a different message than the
Mhm.
rest of the year. So after the first of the year, as we're rubbing into the home sale season, I want to focus on more one to many relationships with real estate agents for closing gifts and also maybe getting into the assisted living space because this is such a great gift for people in nursing homes to be able to keep their door updated and be thought of every month, by their family members. So the one to many piece of it is different because it's an e-commerce product, but I think that there's a channel there that's worthwhile of investigating. Have you seen success with other subscription services boxes that are pursuing sort of the one to many relationship marketing?
So when you like, let's say it's a realtor, do you want them to buy a subscription for the person, or do you want them to buy the first one?
I think it depends on how much they want to spend.
Yeah.
So if you want to give and one of your, if it's a high-end sale and you want to spend $350, you can buy them a sign and a 12-month subscription.
Mhm.
If it was a lesser sale and you just want to spend $100, then give them a $100 gift certificate and give
Yeah.
them, they can go pick up their sign that way.
So for that sort of for the real estate side of things, it's very like in the assisted living, it's very like how do would you plan to market to those guys? Would you try to build relationships one on one, or you want to try to like
I,
target them with ads?
I think it's one-on-one. I
Yeah.
think it's
So
having a salesperson that's really
yeah. So that's just a
dedicated
different
to that.
business. Like it's a
Okay.
different business model, right? Like
Yep.
I don't love that
It is.
idea because in 8 hours of paying somebody to try one-on-one phone calls, I could run an ad targeting all realtors, a digital ad, and
Okay.
get exposure in front of
Okay.
more of them, right? You don't
Okay.
want to build a B2B business. It's much harder to manage. Your success comes into like how you can't scale somebody calling 100 people,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Fair.
So what am I doing? Like I'm targeting like realtor associations and asking if I can pay
Okay.
them to like send an email blast for me. I'm like
Okay.
going to a realtor conference and building relationships or like having a booth there. Like, but it's still like I think it's a great gift for anybody. It doesn't just mean
It is.
right. So I would just be targeting people that like. So for example, what would I do? I would target men that are in a relationship in January because Valentine's Day is coming up,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
For the like Mother's Day. I mean, gosh, it's a dream come true gift. Targeting men in a relationship for Mother's Day. That's how I'm thinking about it. Getting into Mother's Day gift guides. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And
How do you feel
then
about weddings?
what about them?
it's a good wedding gift. How do I get into that space?
Same thing. I don't like that. I don't
Okay.
want to niche out. Like I want to like
Okay.
target a
Okay.
broad audience and let them identify this as like it's
Okay.
a great gift overall. I don't want to hustle like wedding planners.
Okay.
Like you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like
Yeah. No, it does. It
that's how
does.
I'm thinking about it. You're not trying to build like a business where you got to like hustle out the sales. You want to build like a business that has an engine that drives the people to the website, gets them to convert, and now they're paying you monthly. And you
Okay.
focus on
Yep.
retention. And
Yep.
so, because the same thing happened even when we had Gentleman's Box, right? Like this one corporate company wanted like 400 gifts for the holidays. So we sent them 400 boxes. And then everybody all started saying like, oh, should we start reaching out to companies as corporate gifts? And it's like, wait a minute. No, like you got a salesperson. Now
Okay.
this is a B2B play. We're not B2B. We're D2C. I think that one thing to keep in mind is you will not make your business model will not be built on the gifts. They'll be built on the subscribers that actually sign
Absolutely.
up for it. And I think what you probably could do is like to try to start to build a community within this
Okay.
is maybe instead of sending them the kit that is like you have to do it this way, give them more autonomy to create their own cool little entrance based on the stuff you give them. And then you have the community posting about it, showing it off, like, oh my God, you did it so awesome. Like you're letting them get super creative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so it's so interesting because I did a bunch of Facebook. Well, I did Facebook and I did focus groups, but all through that before I launched. And I have a group of people that have no creativity that are
Mm-hmm.
like, mm-mm, if I'm
Yep.
paying you $30 a month for this, I basically want you to come to my house and do it, right? I don't even have to think about it. It needs to be a super easy single pick, stick it in. My
Mm-hmm.
2-year-old should be able to do this, right? And then I've got the group that's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, yeah, I want to explore it, you know? And so some people said, can you have a choice? So I went with the easy, one and
Mm-hmm.
done, stick your little pick in, put your new moss in, and yes, your 2-year-old can do it. But I like the idea of creating
So I don't think you did
the group.
anything right or wrong. What you should do is, as people start canceling, because they will eventually, people will find out
Yep.
why. If one
Okay.
of the reasons is if half the time people are canceling because they don't like not being able to have some creativity, right? Or you can do an upsell kit, get these extra accessories to spice up your thing for $5. You can start to get creative there. I think you're just a month old. You got to figure out
I
some stuff,
know.
and then once you figure that out, you can start to make adjustments based on what the audience is telling you, right?
Okay.
I
Listen to your customers.
I would believe that like there's a certain demographic of the customers that want you to give it to them so it's easy, and there's a certain demographic of the ones that want it custom. If I'm building a company for it to be easy, then I'm targeting the ones that I know will like that it's easy. They like convenience, right? They're the same ones that have a gardener. They're the same ones that don't mow their own lawn. There's something there like me. I'm never doing the one that's going to be creative. I want it to be like literally put up on my wall. I want it to be there. I want the kid to come and I want it to be dummy proof. I just know where to put this, this, and this. I'm also the same guy that like has my lawn cut by somebody else. I have a company that comes out and picks up my dog poop. Like, right? I want the convenience. Like, gosh, a light bulb goes out. I'm like, what do I do? Like there's a demographic of like me that wants the convenience one that's already ready. And then there's somebody else that does their own gardening, that mows their own lawn, that when something breaks, figures out how to fix it. They're probably going to want the more creative one where they have the autonomy of creating their own little setup. So
So, what's the largest, most successful group in the
it doesn't.
subscription box community
Oh,
to market to?
what's the largest group? No, I wouldn't even think
Well,
about it
yeah.
like that. I wouldn't think
Okay.
about it like
Okay.
that because there's enough of both sides of that. It's just who do you want to
Okay.
target? Who's going to stay on longer? My gut right now is telling me the ones that aren't as creative are going to stay on longer because you're building a convenience for them. The creative one's going to eventually be like, you know what? I can like create my own
I
little
can do
kits
this
here.
myself. Yep.
Yes. They
Yep.
got the first
I
thing, which is
agree.
great. Over time, people that have like convenience typically have more discretionary income too, right?
I think it's the convenience market, and because I literally created this because I'm a highly creative person. who doesn't have a lot of time. And to go and get this whole, I mean, you got to go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby,
Yep.
stand there, figure out what you want to do, find your wire cutters,
Yep.
overbuy for what you need. I can assure people that you cannot do this at the end of the day for less money
Yep.
in less time than what I am
Yeah.
selling. But there's a group of people who's not going to care, right? But I
Yeah.
think I'm going for the convenience group.
You know what you could do? You could actually. So, have you ever seen? I don't know if you've got kids or not, but you can buy Lego sets that are 3-in-1, meaning like you can build 3 different
Okay.
buildings with the one set that comes, and that gives you
Okay.
instructions. You could
Okay.
also give them things and give them 3 different ways to put it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Version
I hear
1,
you on.
version 2, version 3. You're sort of like hitting on both styles there, like a little bit of
Okay.
creativity, but also making it super easy. Like, listen, when it's super easy, just do it way number 1. Like
Yeah.
pick 1, 2, or
Yeah.
3, and here's the simple steps to getting it done.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I could ask you questions all day, but I want to be sensitive to your time. So you tell me where we're at on
Yeah,
this.
we got one more question. Give me your best, most pressing one.
Oh my gosh. Um, I think I'm going to ask you if you think I'm selling a sign or a subscription from the marketing perspective,
Good question.
because you have to buy both. Well, actually, it's not true. I've had people sign up for the subscription for a cemetery urn on a grave, right? Like they already have,
Mhm.
and this is something that's easy. But in general, you're going to buy the sign and then you're going to buy the subscription. But what is captivating people is it that they're searching for modern house number signs. They find my product and go, oh, isn't this great? And this is the icing on top. Like, great, somebody's going to update this for me. Or is it the other way around that they wouldn't even consider buying this sign because they didn't want to update it until they learned, oh, look at how cute this is. There's a subscription service that comes with this.
Can you
Because
buy
you
the
can do it
sign
for
without?
house numbers, you can
Can you
buy the
buy?
sign without,
Yeah.
and you can do it for house numbers or hand painted. So somebody might just want to have it say welcome by their front door. They just want their last initial. It may not be for a house number.
Are you
But
hand
I'm
painting these
trying to figure.
yourself?
Yes,
Oh boy.
it's okay.
First of
It's
all, I
scalable.
really like this. I just put metal numbers on my new house. I should have bought this. I really like this metal numbers address thing. But here's the thing. You're coming off as a sign company because if you go to your website, the first thing it says, the call to action is design your sign.
Right.
So here's what I think, and I think what you might be doing wrong is you said that this is a lead gen, right? So you're not making much money on the sign.
I
So
mean, not a horrible profit margin, but the company will never survive or be scaled by just being a sign company.
so what I would do is I'd actually up my price on the sign. They look very high quality, by the way, right?
Yeah, thank you.
I
Yeah.
would send them their first kit, and then my job is to upsell them on replacement kits. Meaning when it gets delivered, there's a card in there that says, "Love this kit, like get this delivered monthly. Sign up today
There
for
is.
20% off or 30%
There
off."
is.
And then I'm just consistently upselling them through email marketing and text messaging.
But you're selling them the sign first.
I mean, that's what your site's doing now.
That's
So
that's the strategy I went with. So
you're so early
an
on that
eight.
you should like. This is what you, okay. You want to know what I would do? I'd build 2 landing pages. I'd
Okay.
run ad sets to both. One of the landing pages is strictly talking about the subscription. So the other way you could do it is sign up for our subscription at $29.99 a month and get the sign for free. Now I get it. That costs you money. But there's an answer in there that as long as they stay for 3 months, you're good.
I contemplated that for sure.
So just
Or
try
if
both
they
ways.
prepaid for a year or something like that, they would get their sign for free.
You're not charging a lot for the sign right now, though.
Mm-mm.
You're charging like $100,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. It's only $79 if it's the
What's your
painted one.
cost? Okay, so
It's $109. My
the
profit
retail.
margin is 45% on the hand painted sign, and it's about 41% on the number sign.
Okay, but on the monthly, $24.99 a month, right? or $29.99 a month. $29.99 a month. Your margin huge there?
58%.
So it's almost 60, right?
Yep.
So that sign for the 109, including shipping, or no?
Yep. Yes. Free
So the
shipping.
109, you're making $41 or $42,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, look, they got to stay on average 2.5 months, and you break even if you give them the sign for free.
Yes.
I would
think
do
that's
that.
the answer.
I would try
Okay.
that. I would try it.
So
Like, get your sign for free. Sign up for our monthly.
okay.
I get it. Some people are going to get it. They're going to cancel right away, and you took the hit on those ones. But the ones that stay on, you
Okay,
might find
now-
that you get more subscribers.
Okay, I have to ask you one more question on that because when I originally thought about doing that, I was limited by technology. So Shopify is my platform, and November of 2020, Shopify changed the rules for how they integrated with Bold, Recharge, and Paywhirl and
Mhm.
Skio and all of the things, right? And so I have been through all three of those: Paywhirl, Bold, and Recharge. Bold and Recharge cannot do what you're talking about. It was frustrating. And so now I'm thinking of going back to Paywhirl. What is your recommendation? What are these new
What do
subscription
you mean? They
companies
can't do
doing?
first notify that this is the first time
They can't.
customer?
No,
Oh, they can't mix
cannot.
cart.
Yeah, and they can't do prepaids at all.
The prepaid thing, I think, is fixed now on Bold and Recharge.
No,
When
not
did you
on
talk to them?
Bold. Last week, because that's what I'm currently using.
No,
And
I
Bold
think
just
it is.
in fact was like 2
Oh,
days
no,
ago.
I'm on Recharge. Or I'm sorry, I'm not. One of my clients is on Recharge.
Recharge is fixed.
I think so. They're both
So do
working
I.
on it. So
Okay.
here's the thing, though. You can just sell a one-off product and just manually track it right now while you're still small. I know that's not the answer you want to hear, but just track it manually until they fix it. Meaning, track the 6 month and build a spreadsheet and know that this person's got to expire on this month based on. You're not selling hundreds of them right now, so you can track it.
No,
Don't let it
Yeah.
stop you from selling those things, especially for the holidays. So it
Okay.
looks like you have give a gift right now, but you have a gift card. So what I would do is I would add in the 3, 6, and 12-month option with a sign, and then just track it. Again, it's not the best answer, but you got to get scrappy. You're a startup; it's fine, right?
Okay.
Let till they fix
Okay.
it. Don't worry about migrating to another system. They're all going to solve for it. That's for sure.
Okay.
But they should be able to tell you that somebody's signing up for the first time, so they get a sign with it. No.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they couldn't. They just couldn't. I wanted to do it as a prepaid. Like if you prepaid for 3 months, then you got your sign for free.
Oh.
And
Yeah, but
so
what
that
happens? They
didn't
auto
just
renew.
sign.
They auto renew after 3.
That's how I want it to work, but they can't do that right now.
I think
And then
you
it would just be
should
month to month
build a
after that.
landing page. Well, where's your traffic coming from right now? You don't have a ton of traffic coming in yet.
I don't have much right now. I mean, it's Facebook ads are working, but I just started running those a few weeks ago.
How do you
Pretty
know they're
much
working?
it's because I have a separate code on Facebook. So if you come through one of those ads, people are using that to redeem. And I can see where the traffic is coming on the website too. But most of it is coming from me building my newsletter list and then sending out the weekly emails.
I think what you should do, I don't know what your, like, how much investment you have into this or not. If this is me, I'm testing 100%. Sign up for a monthly subscription and get the sign free.
Okay.
Look at, like, Quip does it with their toothbrushes. They give you like this $30 toothbrush for free, right? And they send you Dollar Shave Club sends you the razor on the first one, and then they send you the replacement razors.
Okay.
I think that you will get a bunch that will cancel after month 1, but you will get a bunch that will stay on, and you'll see that the average will pay off.
Okay.
Or we'll know. Like, the worst case scenario, you're going to lose. God, if everybody canceled right away, you're losing $40 a person. Try it on 30 people. Like, what do you lose? $1,000 to see if it works? Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I would think about it.
Okay, I like it. Okay, well, thank you so
Of
much. You've
course.
given me some fun
Good.
inspiration. I'm super excited to be involved with SEPTA and continue learning.
No, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks for being on. Good luck with the product. I do like it a lot, so I'm going to share it with some people. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in person in the conference next year.
Thanks
Thanks.
so much.
Okay.
Bye, Chris.
Have a good day. Bye.